And today we're going to take a look at the Technoline WS-9132 Weather Station from Technoline Germany. The WS-9132 Weather Station displays indoor temperature, outdoor temperature via the included wireless temperature sensor, indoor humidity. It has a radio controlled clock for second accurate time. It has an air pressure display and a pictorial weather tendency forecast based on changes in air pressure, pretty much in the same way that a good old-fashioned barometer would operate, but this is just a modern take of the electronic air pressure sensor. Okay, so the weather station comes in a nice presentation box. It's all cardboard, very easy to open, and in the box we simply get the main display for the weather station. We get a wireless temperature sensor and user guide configuration instructions in multiple languages. Okay, so both components are battery operated. The main display, okay, let's just take this little, this is a nice modern design, piano black frame, brushed aluminium insert at the bottom. Okay, battery operated, two AAA batteries and the wireless temperature sensor, which would normally be placed outside. Doesn't have to be outside, it could be another part of the home or a building. It might be in a greenhouse, it might be in a chiller, it might be anywhere, but generally it would be the display, main display of the weather station indoors and the wireless temperature sensor outdoors. Now the temperature sensor is powered by two AA batteries, so let's pop a couple of batteries in there. AA. Okay, now the temperature sensor can be wall hanging, so you've got your hang hook there for a nail or screw, or freestanding on the table, sideboard or wherever. Okay, and the main display is powered by two AAA batteries, so let me just pop a couple of batteries in there. Right, so you just heard the unit beep there. As it comes alive, wakes up and starts to set itself up. You'll notice it's immediately detected the temperature down the bottom, 26.6. That's coming from the wireless sensor. The temperature up here, 25.4. That's the indoor temperature, and relative humidity expressed as a percentage, 59% relative humidity. There's a slight change in the slight difference in these sensors just because they've been handled, so they're a little bit warmer than each other. Okay. You'll notice at the top the time. This is where the time is going to be displayed. The time, there's nothing showing just yet, but you'll notice that there's a little radio mast symbol flashing in the top right hand corner. This is just indicating that it's detecting the timing signal. Of course, it's a radio controlled clock, so it'll detect the timing signal for consistently second accurate time. But once it's first powered up, it can maybe sometimes take up to 10 minutes to detect a timing signal. Okay, so while it's doing that, that'll just be flashing away, and this will be counting up 1 minute, 10 seconds, 11, 12. That'll just count up until it detects the time. Once it detects the time, you'll see a time displayed there. Okay, below here, just showing us 1,000. This is the air pressure, which is expressed in millibars, so it's 1,000 millibars pressure, or 1 bar pressure, or in old money, hectopascals. Okay, let me just get that light back on. Okay, now then, as I say, this might take, when it's initially powered up, can take up to 10 minutes to detect the time. So I'm going to put this to one side. I've got another unit which has already got the time. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to talk you through a few settings on the clock. This is an interesting feature, which is a pictorial weather tendency forecast. Okay, which operates in pretty much the same way as a good old-fashioned barometer would. If there's changes in air pressure, it will generally detect if there's increase in air pressure or lower air pressure, whether we've got fine weather or heavy weather on the way. And you'll notice here on the left hand side it says trend, and we've just got a flat horizontal arrow. That's just telling us that there's no discernible change in air pressure. It's pretty consistent, so there's probably going to be no change from what we've had today. It's been a cloudy old day today. Looks like we're going to get much of the same tomorrow, but you'll notice if the arrow goes up, it's detecting a change in air pressure, and hopefully we've got some fair weather on the way. Maybe more sunshine, less cloud, and then if the arrow starts pointing down, it's detecting changes, drop in air pressure, and maybe we've got some heavy weather on the way. Okay, so it's just a pictorial forecast based on changes in air pressure. Okay, pretty much like a good old-fashioned barometer. Now you'll also notice here the temperature, the humidity, and the outdoor temperature. You've also got the arrows here. It's just a horizontal arrow, but you'll notice the arrows either going up or down. So that will just tell you if you've got a constant temperature, the arrow is going to be pretty horizontal. But if the temperature is decreasing, the arrow will go down. If it's increasing, it will be going up. Okay, and likewise with the humidity. If humidity is rising, you see the arrow going up. If it's level, no change. If it's dropping down, it's detecting changes in there. Okay, so that's a nice little feature on there. There's some features on the back which can be accessed, and one of them is the memory. You'll see we've got a little button here that says MEM. What the unit will do, it will record minimum and maximum temperatures. Okay, so just by pressing the button on the back, if you look at the top, that's the minimum temperature since we powered it up. Okay, 24.8, maximum temperature 25.7, and again it's showing the minimum, maximum humidity and the outdoor. Okay, so the minimum maximum will be recorded from the moment you power it up until you long press on the memory button, which I'll do now, and it will just reset. There you go, it's just reset the memory. Okay, so it can record minimum and maximum temperature, which can be useful for some. Okay, the clock also incorporates an alarm clock, so if it's being used as maybe a bedside clock, weather station, it's got an alarm. One of the buttons on the back is a snooze button. Okay, but I'm just going to talk you through some of the settings on the clock. There's not much to set up. It is of course included in the explained in the user guide, but sometimes a picture speaks 1,000 words. To get into change the settings, if we look on the back, one of the buttons here says mem set, so it's also a mode set. So we'll just set the modes on the weather station. Okay, so I'm just going to go and press and hold this button. I'll hold it for a few seconds. If you watch the screen, you'll see it change. Just going to press it and hold it for a few seconds. Right, you'll see at the top it's flashing 24 hour. Okay, it's one of the first things we can change. Do we want the clock in 24 hour mode or 12 hour mode? If it's in 12 hour, it'll be AM, PM. Of course, the 24 will be in 24 hour mode. If you notice on the back, we've got two buttons here. One's got a little plus on it, so a little plus on it and a little minus on it. By using these buttons, let me just go back into mode. If you go into mode and then press nothing for 30 seconds or so, it will just switch back to normal mode. But if I press these buttons here, look, the little plus and minus arrow buttons on the back, I can switch here between 12 and 24 hour. I'm going to leave it in 24 hour. I'm going to press the mode button again to move on to the next setting. This is the time zone. Okay, this is quite important for depending where you're using the clock. If you're using the clock in the UK, we'll set that to -01. I'll show you a little bit more about that in a moment. But again, by using the plus and minus buttons on the back, we can change between. Let me just put the light back on here. Okay, so the clock detects a timing signal, and then you can apply an offset on that, plus 12 hours or minus 12 hours or anywhere in between. Okay, so by default it'll be 00. We're using the clock in the UK, the time will be an hour fast. Okay, so we'll set this to -1. It's quite a simple concept. If we went from the UK to mainland Europe today, France, Italy, Spain, Germany, wherever, we would put our clocks forward an hour. When we came home, we would take the hour off. Okay, so the UK time zone is -01, but you can go plus or minus 12 hours. Okay. Now then, the one thing to note here is by default it's 00. Okay. We go one way, it goes 1, 2, 3. We go the other way, it goes -1, 2, 3. So for the UK, it's simply -01. Okay. I'm going to press the mode button now again to move on. This is setting the times. This is the hour. We're not interested in setting the time because it's a radio controlled clock. So once it's detected the time, it's going to be second perfect. We'll simply apply the offset to -01 for the UK. We're only going to do that once, and once that's done, it will then follow the time. It will change for British summertime changes as the clocks move forward and back. Okay, so we're not interested in setting the hour. I didn't press any buttons there. So as I said before, if you don't touch anything when you're setting it up for about 30 seconds, it just reverts back to normal operation. So we've done this one, 12 or 24 hour. Time zone for the UK, it's -01. We're not going to change or set the time because it's going to be radio controlled. Okay. We can change the temperature, so we'll notice here that it's 26.2, 24.3 centigrade. We can change it to Fahrenheit if you prefer to see your temperatures in Fahrenheit. I'm going to leave that in centigrade. I'm just going to press the mode button once more. And there we are, we're set. Okay. Just going to quickly touch on the wireless temperature sensors. Okay, the unit can support a number of temperature sensors. So by default, in the box, it will come with one wireless temperature sensor. But if you look on the back of the unit, you'll notice that one of the buttons is channel. Okay. And if I show you in the back of one of the temperature sensors, let me see if I can get this in focus. Hopefully that's in focus. There's a little switch here, 1, 2, 3. So you can set the, sorry, I'm on the wrong side. Okay, so you can set it to 1, 2 or 3. Okay, channel 1, 2 or 3. Now, normally you would just put that on channel 1. And you display the temperature on here. If we look at the button on the back, which is channel, if I press this, you'll notice that it changes the channel between 1, 2 and 3. So you could have multiple temperature sensors which you buy as a accessory, optional extras, but you could have 3 different sensors, and if that is the case, it will just change between sensor 1, sensor 2, sensor 3. So you might have them in different locations around the house. You might want to keep an eye on. Okay, but most of the time you just be set to channel 1. But as I said, on the sensor you have got that. You've got the option there to change it between channel 1, 2 and 3. Okay, and that's worth noting just in case when you're setting it up you change that to maybe channel 2. This is set to channel 1. You're not going to see the outdoor temperature, so you just make sure that if this is set to channel 1, this is set to channel 1, if that's set to 2, this is set to 2, and so on. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So that really is about it. Oh, one other thing's worth noting: the wireless temperature sensor, if it's placed outdoors, as I say, it's got the hang hook on the back, or it can be freestanding, but it must be noted that the wireless sensor is not waterproof. So if it is placed outside, it must be placed in a dry, sheltered location away from direct rain. Okay, so there's normally somewhere you can place it, sometimes up under the eaves of a roof, in a nearby shed, a bird box. There's always somewhere you can put it, and some users will simply put the outdoor temperature sensor in a airtight jam jar, for example, and just tuck it in the flower beds. That'll give you a nice reliable reading of the temperature. Okay, so there we have it, the WS-9132 from Technoline Germany, The unit is available from batterylogic.co.uk in the UK and other good resellers. Okay, so hope you've enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.